The Yellowstone universe has a new addition, and it's none other than 1944. I'm going to be honest here. When I first heard that Taylor Sheridan was planning to make prequels, I didn't expect them to be this deep, emotional, and visually stunning. But my favorite Yellowstone show is 1883, and here we are talking all about 1944. I'll break down the latest updates, but first, let's dive into what we can expect from this next chapter because it's going to be insane. Set 21 years after the events of 1923, this new show will be the first in the franchise where we'll actually see multiple characters we already know. And that's none other than Spencer, Elizabeth, and Tiana. Yeah, I know we've seen Spencer's brother in 1883, but he was only a little boy there, so that doesn't count. Back to the topic, at the end of 1923, we learned that Spencer passed away in 1969, which means this upcoming prequel will follow him during his middle years, focusing not only on him, but also on his children. Yes, children, plural. Because as revealed at the end of 1923, Spencer never remarried after Alex, but he did have another son with a widow. Now, the identity of that widow is one of the biggest mysteries, and I've got two theories. First, there's Tiana. I know, she wasn't technically married, but she and her partner had that kind of bond, don't you think? We all know the Duttons and Rainwaters eventually crossed paths somewhere in the family's history, and I still believe Tiana might be the key connection. Right now, we don't know much about the Rainwater family's lineage before the events of Yellowstone. We only know the hardships Tiana faced and the strength she carried through it all. In 1944, her story could easily continue, and let's not forget, she might be pregnant by Peter. Personally, I don't really want to see Spencer and Tiana in a romantic relationship, but it would explain a lot, especially why Spencer never married again. My second theory is, of course, Elizabeth. Yes, she returned to her mother's house with a baby on the way, but she has to come back somehow, right? Maybe she loses her mother in her home, forcing her to return to the Dutton ranch, or maybe her child, Jack's child, wants to visit the place where their father grew up. For the first time, the Duttons don't have a matriarch holding things together, so Elizabeth's presence would be more important than ever. And realistically, we're not just going to watch Spencer and his son from Alex. That wouldn't drive the story forward. From what's been teased, 1944 will revolve around Spencer's son with Alex and Elizabeth's child with Jack. Both would be in their early 20s, stepping into a world shaped by the aftermath of war and the changing American West. This new generation will carry the Dutton legacy into uncharted territory with new love stories, fresh conflicts, and the same familiar family grit. Back to my theory, after spending all their time raising these kids, Spencer and Elizabeth might form a romantic relationship, but decide not to marry since they'd consider this as a betrayal to their deceased partners. Again, I don't want this to happen, and I just want to see them co-parenting these kids, but what do you think? Sadly, we won't be seeing Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford returning as Kara and Jacob Dutton. By 1944, their characters would be nearing 100, and honestly, it wouldn't make much sense timeline-wise. But both actors have mentioned they'd be open to returning in flashbacks or dream sequences. Ghosts aren't exactly a thing in the Yellowstone universe, but flashbacks could easily fill in the gaps, showing how they lived out their final years and how their deaths shaped the family moving forward. And for those wondering about Julia Schlafer, who played Alex, she's also expressed interest in returning. Even though Alex is confirmed dead, there's still room for her to appear in flashbacks or through Spencer's memories. Maybe we'll see Spencer telling his son about the woman he loved, while the audience gets those emotional flashbacks of moments we never saw in 1923. That could be a really touching way to honor both their storylines. Now, as for the format, 1883 lasted one season, while 1923 ran for 2. That means 1944 could go either way, depending on how big Sheridan's story is this time. There are also rumors about another Yellowstone-era series set in the 1960s, so Sheridan might decide to keep 1944 to a single, powerful season before jumping into that next time period. As of early October 2025, filming hasn't started yet. However, Paramount has already confirmed that 1944 is set to premiere sometime in 2026. If production begins by the end of 2025, which seems likely, we can probably expect a late 2026 release, maybe around the fall, similar to 1923's schedule. Let me know what you think about 1944 and watch this video next.